Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to Philly Talk with MK. It's your boy MK, and I'm here with my guy Tone DeShields II. Chalk it up, Sports Philly. Introduce yourself.
Thank you, my man. First things first, I appreciate you for allowing me to come onto the platform. But as my man Mitch Kofsky said, this is your guy Tone DeShields II from Chalk It Up Sports Philly, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. If you guys are not familiar with me or my content, it's easy to find. Just search Chalk It Up Sports Philly as it is down below. And listen, I love my Philadelphia Eagles. I love my Sixers. I pretty much love everything Philadelphia. So make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe on the content. I am on Twitter as well, at DeShields. That's at DESHIELDS, the way it's spelled right there up top. You put the at symbol in front of that, and my Twitter should pop up. But like I said, shout out to my man MK for allowing me to come onto his platform to talk some Birds and talk some Sixers who are actually playing right now. And I got to let you know, my guy, that intro, fire.
Yeah, shout out to my guy Darian from Spotlight Sports Network. He created my intro. I just did not want number 25 there. He gave me quick vibes. I'm happy with that. So let's just start off by saying rest in peace to John Madden. Let's give him a moment of silence, everybody, please. Thank you. Okay. All right, man. Just caught me off guard, right?
Yeah, I agree with you, man. It was one of those things that you didn't necessarily expect. It's crazy. It's wild, man. John Madden's been a part of our lives, our childhoods, for as long as I can remember.
Dude, just all the Madden games, and I stopped playing Madden in like 2014, but now I'm just like, I wish I had him back.
Yeah, man. It's crazy. I've been pretty consistent with Madden. I've taken certain years off, but I can say that I've been pretty, you know, I've been like an every other year relationship with the Madden video games. But I remember there was a period of time where there wasn't a year that went by that I wasn't buying Madden. Um, it was crazy because the first Madden I bought with my own money was Madden 2004 with
Hmm.
Michael Vick on the front. That was
Right.
that's one of my favorite Maddens of all time. That's one of the first Maddens I bought with my own money. And then one of my other favorite Maddens is Madden '07 with Sean Alexander on the front.
Yes.
You know what I mean? What's the other one? Madden '05 with Ray Lewis on the front. It's just you can go on and on. It's sad. I think he was 85 years old, and it's just so interesting that his documentary just came out less than a week ago, and this news came out. It's almost like he stayed here long enough just so he can put a button on his legacy. And rest in peace to John Madden, the GOAT, the legacy, the icon.
Yeah.
The one and only.
Yeah, and it's just like saying the Raiders have been going through a hell of a lot. Now they're going through this. It's just like it
Yeah,
doesn't end.
man.
But let's just start off by talking about some Birds in the game yesterday or on Sunday against the New York Giants. Your thoughts overall?
Well, of course, I'm happy we got the win, right?
Yes.
Super excited we got the win. Super excited that we blew them out ultimately, but it didn't come without its casualties. Miles Sanders broke his hand. Jordan Howard got a stinger in his shoulder. But word is he should be okay. They're hopeful. Um, a couple guys ended on COVID protocol. But we did bring in on Johnson.
Hmm.
I'm expecting Boston Scott. The good thing is I trust Boston Scott. I don't have any reservations about Boston Scott. I feel pretty good about Kenny Gainwell. But as far as the game itself, um, we can't have first halves like that. That's just the ultimate reality. We can't have first halves where we're so lackluster, where we're so inept, just so clipped at the wings. We can't have we it just can't happen like that because this past several weeks we've come up against pretty mediocre opponents. The most talented opponent we've had, most likely you could make an argument it was the Chargers.
Hmm.
Other than that, everyone, and we lost that game right by 3 points, but we should have
Yeah,
won
we
that
lost. Yeah.
because Jalen Hurts played good enough to win that game. But you think about the fact that we've really had mediocre competition, and at the end of the day, you can only play who's on your schedule. It is what it is. I'm not going to, bash them for beating their opponent, but we can't have games where we start off like that. We turned the ball over. Jalen Hurts fumbled the ball. He almost threw an interception that got called back because it was incomplete. Thank God. Um, we just seemed out of sync. There were too many penalties. We were just beating ourselves. If you think about all of our losses for the most part, you go on, like, all of our losses we beat ourselves, maybe except for 2 games, but every other
Mhm.
loss, except for that Cowboys game and maybe that Raiders game, I feel like we were in every game that we played, and we just happened to beat ourselves. So, happy we got the win, but overall, I do have my concerns about how quickly we start games, or for lack thereof.
Yeah, yeah. We can never like play a whole game. I've been saying that time and time again, and people are like, Mitch, we got the win. We won the last 5 and last 7 or something like that. But look
Right.
at the teams: Giants, Jets, Washington without Heineke. That's why I'm a little nervous about Sunday. So for me, I'm like, can we be a regular good team? Can we do that? And my guess is I don't know yet. And it's just I hate I hate to say this. I don't like this defense. I don't. Jonathan
It's
Gannon's
something
like,
about it, right? It's something about it that makes you still hesitant to believe in it, right?
yeah, yeah. What is up, Ultimate Sports? Ready for Sunday against the Washington football team? Good game, hopefully. But it's just like he's not a good defensive coordinator. He is not, and he's actually going to get interviewed being a head coach. So I'm like, I made a video today. Just take him, please. Just take him off our hands.
The funny
And
thing
it's
is,
like he was doing good the last couple weeks and everything. We haven't blitzed since when? Detroit. That was the last time we actually
it's
blitzed.
it's like that was the one game where we obviously were blitzing, but we don't blitz enough, and that's the problem. And we're not creative enough with our blitzes. That's one of the biggest problems too. But granted, our opponents have been their opponents, and you only can play who's on your schedule. You know, since about week 8, week 9, he has this defense playing the best they've had all season. And could it be the opponents? Could it be that they're starting to gel, starting to believe in the identity? Who knows? But one thing I can say about this defense is we don't blitz enough, and we allow too many mediocre quarterbacks to get comfortable. So, I feel like we haven't really violated quarterbacks the way we really could have. And the bottom line is the defense hasn't been giving up that many points lately. I got to give them credit for that. But overall, though, when it comes to the defensive identity and how they attack games, it seems as though Jonathan Gannon is always calling games from a play behind instead of calling games from a play ahead. It seems like he's always reacting to what the offense is doing rather than dictating the pace, dictating the tempo, and making the offense react to what we're doing.
Yeah, yeah. This defense is like it's not consistent. The first game against the Falcons, I know it's just the Falcons, but that was the best defensive game I've seen out of the Eagles. It goes between that and the Lions, and that's sad. That is really freaking sad. Like I
Well,
can't
I mean,
stand this anymore.
they did hold, it is the Giants,
Yeah,
but they did hold them to 10 points, and
against Jake from State Farm and Mike Glennon,
right,
the
right.
teacher. So I'm like, is that really something to get?
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. It's almost like thanking somebody for not robbing a bank. It's like that's what you're supposed to do. Like, you're supposed to not rob a bank. Like, am I supposed to be happy about that? Like, I do agree with you that the defense still has flaws. And the real test is, week 18, and Lord willing, if we get into the playoffs, that'll be the real test.
Yeah, I mean the playoffs, dude. I mean, we got to win out. We got to beat Washington and then Dallas again. So, if what's the scenario? Green Bay beats Minnesota and then the 49ers beats the Texans. But did you see what the Texans did against the Chargers last
Yeah,
week?
but I don't think they're liable to do that 2 weeks in a row. The Chargers had a lot of guys out because of COVID and everything, and I don't want to take away what the Texans did. They won that game fair and square, but you know, I don't think the Texans are much to do about nothing. You know what I mean? And I like you said, I don't see the Vikings. I don't see the Vikings beating the Packers this go around. I know they beat them the first time,
Yeah.
but I don't see them doing it two times in the season. It's a division game. If anything, they split it. So right now we're in the driver's seat. All we have to do is win out. I do expect the Vikings to lose one more game or San Fran to lose one more game. I do expect that.
Yeah. But I just really want us to win out. Can you imagine? Like, we were projected to get 3 or 4 wins. Now we got to win 8. I predicted to go 8-9. So for me, it's like 2 more and we got 10. I'm like, that's more than an achievement for
I
me.
predicted us. I predicted us to go 10-7,
Oh,
and
really?
and a lot of people, yeah. The evidence is out there. I've died on that hill of 10-7, and then I've bended ever so slightly to say okay 9-8, but I've always maintained that 10-7, 9-8 range of wins and losses, and so far we're on track for that. And you know, it's funny how people, the PFF ranked us as having one of the worst rosters in the NFL,
Right.
and Jalen Hurts wasn't even in Chris Sims' top 40 quarterbacks. Not saying Chris Sims' word is law, but it was just interesting the people he decided to put in front of him, like guys like Kellen Mond and Marcus Mariota and Baker Mayfield, who's terrible this season. Um, there's so many Tyrod Taylor, and there's just so many quarterbacks that he decided to put in front of Jalen Hurts, and it makes you scratch your head like, okay, how much how much how much can I take you seriously? But at the end of the day, Jalen Hurts is having a fairly decent season. Still has a lot to improve on, but I'm pretty pleased with the way the season has turned out. Everything that happens from this point forward is icing on the cake.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And here's the one thing that kind of bothers me, and that's Goddard. Goddard's not catching everything. Like the game against the Jets, where he almost caught it, but it hit his heel. That was the
Oh no!
Jets, right?
Oh no!
I
No!
mean,
No! That was the Washington football team.
oh, that was the football team, right?
Yeah,
And then the
he
Jets, yeah.
yeah, he was an out route. He tried to catch it and he should have caught it. It was no competition on that route. And he just dropped it and it bounced off his back heel and Landon Collins intercepted it. So, you're right. You're absolutely right. Dallas Goedert needs to start acting like and playing like he's that multi-million-dollar man. You can't be considered great if you're dropping these fundamental passes. So my theory is, or the way I see it is, it's time to go back to the fundamentals. It's time to go back to the jug machine. It's time to go back to the basics. And you don't want to ever get too far removed from your fundamentals and your basics.
Right. I mean, how hard is it to catch a freaking ball? Like, just here. How hard is it? Our wide receivers, oh my God. It's just like we need a veteran piece. We need a veteran wide receiver here. So
I
for
agree.
me, I would love to have like Devontae Adams. What's our guy? The guy from the Saints.
Oh,
What is it?
Michael Thomas.
Thomas, yes. And people were saying Godwin, but he just tore his ACL. So I'm
Yeah,
like,
I'm not too sure about that one. Or Allen Robinson. I know he's going to be able
yeah,
to be available.
yeah,
But it's you can, we. It's funny because I was one of those people earlier on that said, I don't want a veteran wide receiver right now. I need to find out what we have in these young guys. And I stood and I still stood by that throughout the season. But as the season progressed, it made me real. I realized, after saying what I saw, that the only legit wide receiver we have is Devontae Smith. And then Quez Watkins is he's an up and coming wide receiver who still requires development, but he has shown much more promise than Jalen Rager. Um, so, and I like Greg Ward. I feel like Greg Ward should have been getting more reps earlier on in the season, but regardless, I realized that we do need some more veteran leadership in that wide receiver room, and it doesn't even have to be a superstar. It could be someone who's serviceable that's been in the league for a handful, several years, that's established and it's reliable. Because these. Let's be totally honest. You don't need a superstar wide receiver to win a Super Bowl. That's just not.
No.
It's completely not needed at all. You need people who are reliable and that do what they do very well. And I think that's what we need. We need someone who's reliable, serviceable, someone who can help these young guys polish their routes, and because they'll have someone to, I guess, lean on or look up to in that regard. So yeah, man, I agree with you. We definitely need a veteran wide receiver. Devontae Adams, I think that's a far cry because I think he's going to go wherever Aaron Rodgers goes. They're tied to the hip.
Yeah. I mean, the only reason people are saying like get a veteran wide receiver, is because Rager ain't it. You got Whiteside, who's definitely not it. You got Ward, who's not it, and Rager just no. It's just like we need someone there to go alongside of Devontae Smith. It's just like it's facts, and obviously we need a quarterback who has better accuracy and can read the field. So, what's your thoughts about Jalen Hurts right now through the season?
So, I actually don't have a problem with Jalen Hurts at all. I actually am pretty. I'm
Yeah,
pretty.
he's yeah.
I'm pretty satisfied with his development thus far. Um, I feel like he's kept us competitive. He's kept us in games, and I feel that people are trying to compare him to guys like Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes and guys of that ilk, the Lamar Jacksons, the Josh Allens of the world, and the Matthew Stafford. They're using that barometer to gauge whether or not he's a competent quarterback, right? And my
Mhm.
whole thing is, he has a skill set and he has a style of playing the game. And I feel that he's shown us a lot of flashes of what he could be. The main thing with him is consistency and and also just reading the field. And I feel that those are things that come with development, come with experience. I like him as a runner of the football. He adds an entire different dimension, an X factor really to the offense. He's one of the reasons why our offensive attack, our rushing attack is number one in the league. I just don't like my running. I just don't like my quarterback leading the team in rushing. But other than that, I think he's coming along as a passer. Uh, I feel that he still has a lot of work to do. He has nowhere near arrived, but I feel that he's earned the right to start next season in full. And that's when I want to see the him take the next step, because this is the first season of consistent football he's had in the NFL, and also being under two different head coaches, being under multiple different head coaches in his college career. The kid is smart. I like the way he approaches the game. I like the way he approaches, being a professional. I trust his work ethic. I trust his commitment to his teammate. I trust his commitment to the game. And we also can't ignore the clutch factor that he does have. He has this ability to turn it on. He has an ability to respond to criticism, and that's something that we were missing last year. Our previous quarterback didn't really do well when he was put on the spot or when he was, I guess, targeted from the coaching staff. But I like what Jalen Hurts is made out of, and I believe if he continues to grow as a player, which I believe he can, um, he can be dangerous. I really believe that. I really believe he can be a very dangerous asset for this Philadelphia Eagles team.
Oh yeah. The thing that bothers me most about Hurts
Mhm.
is that I love the grit. I love everything about him. It just, to me, in my opinion, he can't really throw. For me, it's a quarterback league where you got to throw the ball. Sure, I love it when he ran the ball. He runs for 10 touchdowns. I love that. He's a Pro Bowl alternator because of that. But it's just like time and time again, it's just the mistakes. Is it me judging that he's making all these mistakes in his first real season? Or should I just like lay off and like let him do his thing? Because to me,
So
that's what bothers me the most.
what do you? So when you say he, you say he can't throw the ball, right?
Like
So,
when I'm
so
like his accuracy.
okay,
That's
I can
basically
I
what I
can
mean.
I can give you that. He doesn't throw the prettiest ball all the time. I will definitely give you that, right?
Yeah.
But not many quarterbacks throw the prettiest ball. We're being honest. We're talking about top 5 guys here. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And then everything beyond that, you can always pick a quarterback apart, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
so, and again, he's in his second year in the NFL. He's only, he started 4 games last year. I believe he started how many games this year? Well, he started 15 games this year, 16
Yeah.
games.
Something like that.
So all the things we're seeing, in my opinion, are things you see in young quarterbacks who are still developing, right? In my opinion. But let's be honest about this though. He keeps this team in games. He has this team with what is it, an 8-8 record? Uh,
Yeah.
this team is in playoff contention, and
Mm-hmm.
not just because of what the team's doing, but it's because of him as well, what he brings to the table. Um, he wasn't a first round pick. He wasn't the most polished coming into the league. Those are things we all knew about him, right? But I'm of the mindset of you have an opportunity here to really rebuild and reload your roster through the draft, and I don't think you have to draft a quarterback in any in the first round at all. I actually believe that if you're going to draft a quarterback, wait until the later rounds. Just draft like a prospect, someone that you're going to develop, so on and so forth. But I just don't. I'm of the mindset of you have a legit shot to rebuild your roster, reload your roster. You have a quarterback. You have a quarterback who has tremendous upside, and you have him on a rookie deal, a second rounder rookie deal at that. You're only going to owe him about 3 or 4 million at the most between the next 2 years, or 2 years left on the deal. You have plenty of time to make a decision at quarterback. Uh, I don't. I feel like we have too much. I feel like I don't want to. I personally don't want to sacrifice what we can do for this roster just to change the quarterback position. Because if you draft a guy in the higher rounds, you're just pretty much resetting your development at quarterback. I feel like Jalen Hurts is a pretty decent baseline to start at if you're trying to find your quarterback or build or develop a quarterback. I feel like Jalen Hurts is a pretty fucking good baseline.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It is. I mean, he fits this offense perfectly. Like he's doing everything right. It's just for me in the accuracy, it's just really annoying. In that game against the Giants the first time around, like that was just terrible,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, that was
Missing
terrible.
everything.
Yeah, that was terrible. I would not give him a pass for that game. That was his worst game of the season by far.
I think that was his worst game of his career, even though he's been
Yes,
there for
yes,
like
yes,
one.
absolutely.
It's just like, man. And again, last week with the Giants, the first possession, I think he tried to like throw it to Goddard, and it was like a bullet. And thank God was it picked?
No, it was not. It was
It
dropped.
was
It wasn't. It almost was
right.
picked, but
He had it
but
in his hand,
it
and it
didn't
hit the ground.
complete. Yeah, exactly. But I get what you're saying as far as accuracy though. But that's something you can develop, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, there are guys who came into the league that they weren't the most accurate. There are guys who, when they came into this NFL, they were not good. They just weren't. Like for example, let's take Josh Allen, right?
Hmm.
Let's take Josh Allen's rookie season. In Josh Allen's rookie season, he completed 52% of his passes. Absolutely terrible. Only had 2,000 passing yards, 10 passing touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Absolutely horrid, right? Then his sophomore season, his second season in 2019, only completed 58% of his passes. Threw for just over 3,000 yards, 20 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Okay, he got better with his touchdown interception ratio. Improvement, right?
Hmm.
Then you jump to his third season, which so far is his best season of his career, with a 69% completion percentage, threw for 4,544 yards, 37 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, with a 107 quarterback rating or passer rating. Then so far this year he's regressed a little bit with 65% completion percentage, just over 4,000 yards, 34 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. So the point I'm trying to get to ultimately is the fact that, yes, Josh Allen was a first round pick and you make that investment to develop a guy, right? But at
Hmm.
the same time, with Jalen Hurts, you didn't necessarily make such a huge investment, yet he's already trending upward in his development. Last year, Jalen Hurts I believe, if I'm not mistaken, only completed about 58%. I'm sorry, he completed 52% of his passes in 4 games started. And granted, if you want to be technical, he didn't finish that last game because they pulled him. And he did play half of the game against the Green Bay Packers. So if you want to do it from a quarter perspective, he did play 4 full games, but he completed 52% of his passes his rookie season. And this year so far, he's completing 61% of his passes, just under 3,000 passing yards, 16 passing touchdowns, 9 interceptions. But you also can't forget the 10 rushing touchdowns as well. So he has a different element to his game that's also going to show outside of the passing stat line. But again, my overall point is the fact that you're seeing the improvement. I think you and I can both agree that Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback this year than he was last year.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
I believe he's learning how to win, and I believe he's learning how to win different ways. And adversity is good for him, good for this team. So I think it was also good to see that team be able to come back from a 10-point deficit and also maintain focus. And I love the relationship him and Sirianni are building.
Oh yeah. I mean, what Sirianni? I just want to know what Sirianni said during the halftime. Like during the game, what did he say in the locker room that had them like go off? That's what I want to know.
I don't think it was something he said. I think it was just more so the fact of, I think you know what I think? I'm not gonna lie. I feel like in that first half, he was like, you know what? The Giants are beat up. I still want to try to see if we can sling it a little bit. That's why you saw more passes than runs. I feel like he got away from his philosophy. And then once he went to the halftime, he said, "All right, you guys, let's just go. Let's just go back to what we do best, and let's just run the ball down your throat, and then use the run to open up the pass." Like my thing is, like, there's nothing wrong with having a strong running game to open up the pass. Every good quarterback needs a running game. I don't know why people are acting like having a running game for Jalen Hurts is such a handicap or a crutch. It's a quarterback's dream to have a legit running game. You know what I'm saying? Because that helps. That open things up for the pass.
It does. Remember when against Dallas, we only ran the ball twice and we got stopped. Like, dude, if we had this running game now back then in that game, I think we will win. I honestly thought we will win with this running game back then. Back then sounds like years ago, but you get what I'm saying.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. We didn't do what we were supposed to do in that game, but it's okay though because we got Washington this week. Then we got Dallas the final week of the season, and if things bodes well, we'll have them in the first round of the playoffs, the wild card round. And I want them. I want their spirits. I want their souls. I want to. I want to ruin everything. I want to kill everything they hold dear. Like I want us to truly crush their aspirations. Because I don't believe we're the same team that they met in week 3, week 4. We're not the same team.
Yeah, we're definitely not. We got better after that Flowers press conference. I'm still like, we have a coach that talks about rock, paper, scissors, and Flowers, and we're 8-7, second in the NFC East. Like, and he's up for Coach of the Year.
Yeah, you're right. Now, he is a quirky guy, right? He does say some things. The head coach does say some things that makes you scratch your head a little bit. But we can't ignore that these guys are responding to him. They're playing for him. You know what I'm saying? He has these veterans still believing. And that's hard to do when you're a new head coach. You have guys who are in their 10th, 11th seasons in the NFL, 12 seasons, guys that are in that 32, 33, 34 age bracket. It's hard to get guys like that up in the morning. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to motivate those guys, especially when you're a young head coach and most of the staff is young as well. I think it was so vital for them to keep Jeff Stoutland, but we can't ignore that this team has responded to what this coaching staff is telling them right now. Like I mentioned before, the relationship between Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni in that Washington game, Nick Sirianni got right with Jalen Hurts. He didn't waste any time. Let him know you're being careless. Tighten up. And next thing you know, you saw Jalen Hurts just start lighting it up, man, and start just doing his thing. So, he responds well to that kind of stuff. And Jalen Hurts wants to be coached hard. He doesn't want to be spoon-fed anything. So,
right.
it also pleased me to see how he broke down that busted coverage in the press conference when it came to Dallas Goedert, because everyone was giving him hell for missing Dallas Goedert. but there was a reason why he didn't go to Dallas Goddard, and he basically just explained the simple fact that at the end of the day, uh, we had an option based on what they showed us, and what they showed us, it led for me to start my reads from left to right rather than from right to left. And when once we saw the formation, once we saw the package, and we hiked the ball, they ended up doing something completely different. So my the package, the formation told me my reads, but once they blew the coverage. The Giants, they had a busted coverage. They got lucky. But you can't really anticipate them making a mistake. You don't want to play like that. You don't want to play with them, assuming they're gonna make a mistake. But I feel like he just did. I feel like he made the correct reads in that moment for that situation, based off of how he explained it in the press conference. He was very detailed, and he was very intentional about making sure people understood. And I think that's something that needs to be talked about. That this young man is really taking in the coaching, really making it a point to understand the defense, what they're showing him, and following his reads and trusting the coaching, and just overall learning. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just want to go to what you said about the players and relationship with their coaches. Remember when Fletcher Cox came out and said that he doesn't get paid to cover screens? I think
Ah,
that's when it started with Jonathan Gannon. With Jonathan Gannon, I had him turn over a new leaf, and our
you're right.
defense got even better, but I still question it. Like, I applaud Fletcher Cox for doing that. And people are like, why would you applaud him? He's getting paid to do what other coaches, to do what the coaches say. But I'm like, he's a captain. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. He's got all this respect in the locker room. When someone's not doing their job right, you got to call them out on it. Same thing with Joel Embiid with the whole debacle. But I'm just saying, like, it comes with the player. You have to speak up, and that's what he did. I applaud him for that.
Yeah, especially being a veteran, being one of the guys that this team looks up to. I'm really impressed with the way Fletcher Cox has been carrying himself. Throughout the season. He's making it a point to really be that leader. Ever since BG went down, he's kind of made it a point, especially these last few weeks. He understands what's on the line, and he sees that this team has potential to sneak into the playoffs, and every game matters. And I think they all understand that. And I just really want to applaud Fletcher Cox for really taking that mantle, and just making sure that these guys understand that, listen, we got a chance here. And let's be totally honest about this NFL season. This is the season where anybody can get touched, Mitch. Like anybody. Like this is not one of those seasons where there's one team that's supremely dominant at all. You catch a team on a bad day, they will get got. You think about the Arizona Cardinals. You think about the Cowboys losing to the Broncos. You think about the Buccaneers losing to the Saints, getting shut out. You know what I'm saying? You think about the Packers losing to the Vikings earlier in the season. You know what I'm saying? You think about Detroit Lions beating the Vikings in that one game. You think about the Detroit Lions tying with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and you know think about the Texans beating the Chargers. This is one of the most abnormal seasons, one of the most competitive seasons we've had in football in quite a long time. And this gives me great joy for my Philadelphia Eagles, because what's starting to separate the men from the boys in the league is the simple fact that teams that can run the ball, teams that can stop the run, teams that can, teams that don't turn the ball over, they're the ones who are dictating the pace. And we have the number one rushing attack in the NFL, and we're starting to limit teams to less than 100 yards rushing. So, teams have a lot to worry about when it comes to us. We're not going to be an easy out. I'll tell you that.
Uh, I don't think so. I mean, this team is on a hot streak right now. We got the motor, we got the momentum. Just got to keep riding it. But with the Washington football team, they're getting the players back. And you know them, they were on a hot streak before they lost their players. So this is going to be a lot closer than a lot of people think it is.
Oh, it will be. You're right.
Yeah. Because I was on a Birds of Broad Street's podcast yesterday. Shout out to them, all those guys. They were predicting like 38 to 17, 35 to like 12 or something like that. I'm like, no, it's not going to be that. I can't stand when people predict like that. I just can't stand that. Am I wrong?
I don't think you're not wrong. Mainly because I don't think that, like you said, I don't think it's going to be as simple as we make it out to be. Right.
Mhm.
We have to take this into consideration. the Washington football team was just embarrassed on
Mhm.
live on national television. They were just embarrassed by the Dallas Cowboys putting up over 40 points in the first half. They were embarrassed, and then the players are fighting on the sideline. Ron Rivera is not going for that, and Ron Rivera is a man with pride, a man that demands respect, and a man that demands that you fight to the bitter end, regardless of the outcome. I trust and believe, and they're going to be home. Trust and believe, Ron Rivera is going to have those guys up and ready to play. Now, whether they win or lose, I believe we're going to win the game in the end. But it's going to be much closer than what we anticipate. I actually think the game is going to be. I actually don't think we're going to score 30 points in this game. I actually think it's going to be a lot closer. I haven't really locked into my score prediction yet, but if I had to give a prediction right now,
Mhm.
and this is tentative, it may change by the time the day comes. But if I was to give a prediction right now, I'd probably say this score is going to be 27-17. You know,
I
like
had 28-20.
like so it's I think it's going to be much more competitive than what we realize.
Oh yeah, yeah, I definitely agree. With that being said, let's go on to the Sixers because now it's halftime and they are winning 55-48 against the Raptors. Siakam has 18-4-3, and Embiid is 12-3-6. Now the Sixers right now, it's just like they should be better than this, but the problem is Tobias Harris. Like, what's happened to this guy, man?
I'm not sure, man. He is in one of those slumps that you can't really explain. Um, and Tobias Harris is one of those guys, in my opinion, who he can't necessarily create his own shot at a high clip. He's somebody that I really don't want dribbling the ball that much. He's somebody that I like in the low post. I like on the baseline. He has a beautiful mid range. Um, I like him cutting to the basket. He's a nice spot up shooter, but Tobias Harris, he doesn't necessarily do one thing extremely well. He's just a well-rounded athlete. He's just a player that has multiple things he does, but at a decent enough rate. Um, but Tobias Harris, man, I really don't know, man. Sometimes guys just go through these slumps. I'm hoping that it changes. But I'm not really sure what the aspirations are for the Philadelphia 76ers this year because so far they're not looking like one of the teams that can actually make a run. Um,
Yeah.
they have too many deficiencies. They're they, they go through these slumps and they don't have a go-to scorer outside of Joel Embiid. And Joel Embiid, you only can expect him to do so much because he's a big man. He can only create his shot. You know, in space, really. Um, so you really have to this team really has to make some changes. I'm really trying to figure out, exactly what's going to be the next move after this Ben Simmons situation because they need to. I know Daryl Morey's waiting for the market to heat up a little bit more, which it will. Teams are going to figure out their needs very quickly,
Mhm.
um, and the trade deadline is going to make teams bite more. But I just think, man, we're not going to really get right as an organization until Ben Simmons is completely at the door. I believe that it's starting to show itself on the court.
Yeah, yeah. And I made this in my video probably like a week or two ago that Seth Curry's the number two option now. So we're paying Tobias
See,
Harris.
I don't like that.
You don't think he's the number two option?
No, no, no. I'm not saying he's not. I'm saying I don't like that. Like I don't like
No,
that he is.
I don't. I don't either. Like I don't like that at all. And my dad and I were talking today, and he's like, Mitch, Tobias Harris was just the worst extension in history. I'm like, yeah, he's the top 10 biggest contract in the NBA. Who's going to want this guy now? Last year, he was a borderline all star. And now it's just like people are still complaining about him having the virus and everything and making that as an excuse. I'm like, no, that's been a month now. He should be good.
Yeah, I can't really give him any excuses, man. You know, Tobias Harris definitely needs to do a lot of soul searching. I like Tobias Harris. It's just that he's not a number two. He's a number 3 at best on a championship team. He can't be your number 2. He just can't. Um, you know, another thing, Joel Embiid, I know he's been balling lately, but he has to find a way to stay healthy. He has to find a way to stay on his court. You know, I feel like Tyrese Maxey needs to get more minutes. I feel like we need to go all in on developing Tyrese Maxey, man. I feel like we really need to. I feel like we really need to get that young man developed more and get him some more reps, get him some more opportunities because you know he's built for the moment. He wants the smoke. He wants the moment. You know what I mean? He wants it. It's just that for some reason, Doc Rivers, you know, he picks and chooses when he wants to give him a high volume of minutes. But if it's me, I'm saying, yo, Max, go out there and ball. Look, 30 plus minutes a game, go ball. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I want. I feel like Korkmaz is inconsistent. You know, I want to see Paul Reed develop more. I thought he'd be a little further along. I like what we're getting from Niang. You know, I feel like he's doing exactly what he's supposed to do, a man in his role. Matisse Thybulle, him. I'm very disappointed with Matisse Thybulle. I feel like
I am too.
I feel like Matisse Thybulle. I feel like Matisse Thybulle has not made it a point to get better on offense. His defense will always be there. Actually, you know what? It won't, because at some point your age is going to allow people to blow by you. But I feel like he's athletic enough to get to the basket at will. He needs to get better. He needs to get better at finishing. He's too one-dimensional on offense. He's not reliable from deep. For somebody who has potential to be a legit 3-and-D like juggernaut, he just hasn't taken those strides on offense that I expected, and I'm extremely disappointed in Matisse Thybulle.
Yeah, I mean Matisse Thybulle right now. I'm keep on saying I don't want another number 25 because it's looking like that with his offensive game. Like he's not making anything. I'm like, it's not. This is worse than Robert Covington. I'm like,
yeah, you're right. It is. You're right. It is. At least Robert Covington is a far better shooter.
Oh yeah, definitely. So I just gotta say this. I mean, the Sixers need to trade number 25, and I'm a part of the Sixers group on Facebook. I'm probably gonna leave it after I say this. One of them called them a Ben Simmons MVP. I mean, Hall of Famer. And yeah, all that. And I posted, I was like, Ben Simmons needs to go and all this stuff. And they were showing me stats of the team last year and everything, this and that. Mitch, you're stupid and all this. I'm like, bro.
Listen, those guys are trolling. But even beyond that, though, like, I don't care what you show me from the stat board. He's not coming back. Let it go. That's the bottom line, right? This team made it clear that they wanted him back. He didn't want to come back. He doesn't want to face the Philadelphia onslaught that he's going to face. And guess what? He's not coming back because it will only get worse. Can you imagine this man suiting up and playing tomorrow? No. Can you imagine? Like the city will erupt. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, you know, people can show all these, oh, this is how we play with Simmons and this is how we are without Simmons. Yes, you're stating the obvious. We are better with Ben Simmons. Abso-freaking-lutely. Yes. Do you want a cookie for that? Like, you're absolutely right. We're better with Ben Simmons. But the young man doesn't want to be in this city. He's not built. Never was, if we're being completely honest. So move on. Understand that he's going to be gone.
Thanks, Keith. But, dude, it just makes no sense to me. How can you still be a fan of this guy? Did you see what's his agent's name? Rich Paul. He was like hashtag Ben Simmons for All-Star.
He's trolling as well, man. You know, look at the end of the day, man. Rich Paul is a businessman. He's an agent, and he's going to always do what's in the best interest of his player. I can only get mad at him, but so much. My real gripe is with Ben Simmons. His inability to just, you know, move on, because the city wants to move on. If we're being completely honest, the city wants to move on, but him not being a professional is making it very hard for us to move on.
Oh my God, dude. It's just like, I'm going to bring up a hard topic here, and that's the mental well-being of him. It's like, he's fine. He's taking
advantage. He's taking advantage. I'll be honest. I really don't. I take mental health very seriously, and I feel like he's using it as a shield. And I really don't. I really don't like that. I think it's disingenuous. I believe it's just flat out just disrespectful to people who really go through things. I'm of the mindset of there's levels to mental health, right? There's levels to, you know, there's a difference between, I'm just going through a rough patch versus I suffer from depression and, suicidal thoughts and schizophrenia and bipolar disorder and anxiety. You know what I'm saying? There's levels to this, right? And I feel like there are some athletes who really go through certain things, and then there's some athletes who just going through a rough patch and they use it and they weaponize it. And I don't think that's fair in any way. And again, right, who am I to necessarily judge someone's mental capacity or judge where they are mentally or emotionally, especially if I don't know that person firsthand? But I think I think it's unrealistic to believe that the entire NBA or the entire NFL, everyone's suffering from mental health issues. I think we all go through things on our day to day. We all go through. We all don't go home to mansions and millions of dollars in the bank, and money don't. At the end of the day, money don't make the man, right? Money don't make the person, but it does make things a lot easier, right? So,
Yeah.
there's a fine line between mental health and just having a bad going through a rough patch. There's a fine line between that. So I try to tread lightly, but overall, when it comes to Ben Simmons specifically, I don't really believe anything he says at this point. I believe at this point, he's just trying to do any and everything to get out from under this situation in Philadelphia. And if I'm not mistaken, what's going on, Eagles and Sister? If I'm not mistaken, he hasn't been getting paid at all, right?
No.
Okay. Good.
No. He's been fined for over $9 million. Like, let that sink in. And guys, thank you. Shout out to MC Naj for the raid, man. I see all you guys. Don't worry, I see you all. But I just gotta say this, like, it can't. Can it possibly get any worse than what we're in right now? Can it
$9
possibly
million,
get any?
Mitch, for real? Is it really 9 million?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It might even be more. I'm not even crazy. Remember when he declared for bankrupt? He declared bankrupt like a month ago.
Did he for real?
Yeah. Like, the whole Ben Simmons thing.
Yeah. Whoa.
So, it's like, yeah.
And he just bought that mansion too.
Yeah, he put that on the market. He put the houses on the market.
Yo, that is wild.
You didn't know? Like, there's this thing in his.
I fell back from all the Ben Simmons drama, man. Like, I just couldn't. I couldn't put up with it anymore. Like, it's one of those things that I just completely disconnected myself from.
Yeah. It's hard for me because I get DMs all the time and I see TikToks all the time. So for me, it's like hard to stay away from that crap.
Man, wow. But, overall though, like Ben Simmons is a good player.
Yeah.
But I feel but he's not a number one option. He's the reason why Jimmy Butler was chased out of town or why he didn't, build roots here. Also Jimmy Butler, he wanted to go to Miami. But even then Ben Simmons made it clear that he wanted to be the guy, but when the opportunities came, he never stepped up to be the guy, right? But at the end of the day, here's the thing. Regardless, people move on. The playoffs were last year. People let it go. It is what it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're not going to all we want to see you is play better this year. That's all we really want from you at the end of the day. So it's just his whole mindset when it comes to this stuff is just really childish.
Yeah. This whole thing, it's just like ridiculous at this point. I'm like, I can't stop talking about it because once he is moved and gone, I guarantee you this team will be better because we would get some pieces that would actually help us. Absolutely. So for me, it's just like once we get rid of him, it's all be gone. But knowing Daryl Morey, it's like you don't know when that day's going to come. It might
Right.
not even come this year.
Right now, there's a chance that Jaylen Brown may be on the move. So
Yeah.
that's going to be interesting how Daryl Morey attacks that. I'm really curious to see what we get in return for Ben Simmons because Daryl Morey, I'm telling you, he's going to finesse someone. He's going to finesse someone, and it's only a matter of time.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't even think he wants to play basketball anymore. Number 25. I don't even think he wants to play.
Exactly, because if he was a baller, if he loved basketball, this wouldn't be a situation. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't love basketball. He doesn't love the game. He's more consumed about what the game has given him, and that's notoriety. That's superstar girlfriends and the money, the cars, the lifestyle. He was never enamored with the game itself. He was never obsessed with getting better. He's been the same player for the past 3 years.
Yeah. It's just like a straight stagnant. His best time, I can't believe I'm going to say this, was back in the summer league of his rookie year.
Yeah,
That was his best.
Yeah, that was when he appeared to be really, free on offense. That's what it seemed like. He was playing very. He was just playing basketball. He didn't care about what people thought. He was just hooping. You know what I'm saying? Now it seems he's like terrified to shoot a shot. And we have to convince teams to inherit that, and that's going to be the tough part.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know who's gonna want him after all this. Like, I really don't. His trade is so low, it's below the floor. Like, his trade value is so low, but people are like, Mitchell, just wait. It's gonna come. It's gonna be better. Just wait.
It's
I
coming.
can't wait much longer, dude. I just can't.
Trust me. Don't worry. It'll be done before season end. Trust and believe. Because
You sure? Because it's not, as of right now, it's not looking like it.
Well, when's the trade deadline?
I'll look it up. I think it's in like 5-6 weeks.
Because someone's going to bite. And if
I
not,
heard the Cavs were interested.
yeah, I heard the Cavs were, the Celtics were. Obviously, I heard. See, my thing is, as much as I would love to see this, most likely we're not going to really get much in return if we trade him to a backwater team. We got to trade him to somebody who's willing to give up something. We got to trade him to a team that has someone who's disgruntled and looking for a change of scenery, like a Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum aren't necessarily seeing eye to eye right now.
Yeah, that's a scare. Like, you thought that duo would be great for years. You thought that would be duo.
I actually knew. I'll be honest. I knew it couldn't last. They're too similar. They're too similar. They're much too similar. They don't complement each other's games, in my opinion. It's like the way I see it. They had to decide who's going to go off that day. You know what I'm saying? They don't complement each other. They're both not facilitators. You know what I mean? They're better with the ball in their hands. Jaylen Brown is better when he's slashing to the basket. He's definitely become a much more accomplished shooter for sure. He's definitely had big games. Had big shots. Same thing with Jason Tatum, but they don't complement each other's game to me. Complement each other's game. I believe Jason Tatum is, he's that combo forward. He can shoot. He can score on all three levels. Has multiple counters, but not really a facilitator. Not really a known for getting the most assists or getting guys involved. He's more so the weapon. And Jaylen Brown, not really a facilitator. He's not a point guard. He's like a hybrid between a 2 and a 3. So he's not really a facilitator either. They're very clunky playing together. They're flashy. You're going to get the high scores from either, each of them, any given night, but they don't mesh well, in my opinion. I feel like Jason Tatum needs someone who's going to get that ball to him and that plays great defense. Ben Simmons is that guy.
Yeah, that is. Can you imagine if we gave him to a division rival, though?
Right. You're going to see him at least four or 5 times in the season.
Yeah, but he number 25 came out and said that he never wants to play in Philly, like, ever. So if the Celtics come here, he's not going to come at all.
That's hilarious.
It really is. He won't come at all.
I doubt
So
that.
it's like
I'll be
it's
honest.
very dumb.
I doubt that. I doubt that. But here's my thing, though. I want him to go to Boston because that means whenever we play Boston in any meaningful game, he's gonna crumble in Philadelphia. So I want him to go to Boston. I want him to become a cancer for their team.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, if he went to like Detroit, I mean, the only person I would want is Jeremy Grant. Not
Exactly.
even now. He's injured. He could be done. But send him to like any team that's bad. Like just take him. Like take him for. Would you take Russell Westbrook from the Lakers? I would not.
Nah. And it's sad that I'm at that point where I'm saying that, but I just feel like he plays too quick. He plays too fast. Like he's just, I feel like, well, maybe Russell would thrive in a situation where he doesn't have to, he doesn't. You know what? No, I just don't like. I don't like Russell Wilson. I mean Russell Wilson. I don't like Russell Westbrook in big games. I don't like Russell Westbrook. With the game on the line, like he's as talented as electric as he is. He can't stretch the floor. He's inconsistent shooter. He's still a great facilitator. Still, still a great scorer going to the rim. But it's just that I don't trust his basketball IQ. You
I
know,
don't either.
I don't trust him in big moments.
Yeah, I don't either. It's like he used to be my favorite point guard in the Thunder. In the All NBA, I had his Westbrook jersey and everything. Like I loved him.
I still do. I still do. But I feel like he's just going through that. I feel like he's in this weird space in the NBA where the league is starting to move away from the way he approaches the game. The league is all about spacing the floor, shooting, and finesse and ball movement. You know what I mean? And sometimes Russell Westbrook, his assist, he passes it at the very last minute sometimes, or he's not the most smooth passer. It never seems natural when Westbrook is facilitating. It always seems like he's just passing it because they're collapsing on it. And this never seems natural to me. But I still love Russell Westbrook's game. I love what he brings to the table. I love his commitment to the community. I think Russell Westbrook is a dope individual. But I just don't think he would fit with this Sixers team. Just because I don't think him and Embiid would really see eye to eye, and that's the last thing you need.
Yeah, yeah. Remember the whole rivalry between them? Like it wouldn't work. It
At all.
honestly would not work. Westbrook, he has to be a number one in his mind. He's got to be in his mind. Like
Yeah,
it
he
doesn't work.
doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't know how to. He doesn't know how to. I don't know, man. He's been a number one for a long time.
Yeah,
It's kind of hard to unlearn that. You know what I mean? But we're going to see what happens, man. We're definitely going to see what happens. Like this was a heck of a conversation, man. We touched on so many different things, but it's going to be interesting to see, how things pan out with these Sixers, especially with the Ben Simmons situation. And it's definitely going to be interesting to see how things pan out with the Eagles because right now the Eagles are playing with house money. They're in a situation where like no one. I'm telling you, like I really don't believe people want to face the Philadelphia Eagles at certain moments because we're such a physical team. We have the best offensive line in the NFL. No one can tell
yeah.
me different. Um,
Lane Johnson touchdown.
Bruh, man, as long as we stick to our identity, stick to what we do well, I don't think any team can stop us.
Hmm. Yeah. All right. So I'd like to say thank you for coming on, my guy. It's been a long time coming. I know you were on here like when we did the round table, but it's just like a one-on-one now. So it was a great show. Thank you for coming on. We got to do
For
this again.
sure, man. For sure, bro. Like, look, I appreciate you for reaching out, man. I'm glad we were able to do this. The conversation is always interesting. You always make me think with your questions. You know what I mean? So, I really appreciate you, Mitch. You're real good dude, real solid dude, man. Make sure you guys really lock in on Mitch Kofsky's content. Lock in on MK, man. He gives you guys wrestling content, basketball content, football content. You know what I'm saying? My man is really out here, staying busy, staying with the grind and super humbled to know this guy. Super humbled that he reached out to me. This guy was doing his YouTube thing a bit before, a while before me. So, really just awesome to see his content growing and in the community he's building. And Mitch, so I appreciate you for allowing me to come on your platform, just to exchange energy, my man. And I'm just grateful.
Yeah, great. Oh my God, I can't speak. Glad to have you on. I mean, dude, you're one of the legends in this community already.
Oh man,
people DM me to have you on all the time, and some of them were in the chat here.
Wow, that's crazy, man. I'm grateful. I'm blessed. I really appreciate that.
All right, yo, shout out to my guy. His link is in the description below. Please give him a sub. He has a podcast with Philly Foothills every Sunday before every game. What is it called again?
Oh well, we actually didn't name it yet, but we have some. We have something in the works though. But we pretty much do a pregame every about an hour or so before every Eagles game. And yeah, man, if it's a night game, if it's a morning, whatever, afternoon game, whatever it is, be on the lookout on Sundays for me and my man Philly Foothills from the Nest Out West. We do a pregame show for the Philadelphia Eagles for about an hour and some change every Sunday, every game day. So make sure you guys look out for that.
All right, guys, subscribe, hit the like button, do all that stuff. We'll talk to you guys later. Peace.